You know, back in 2006, an absolutely remarkable new technological advancement came about, and it was called YouTube. And I remember a good friend of mine who was a high-tech friend, he told me about it. He said, Blair, there's this amazing new thing that came out called YouTube. And I said, YouTube? What is YouTube? He says, it's going to give the common man the ability to make their own television programs. I said, television? What do you mean by that? And he said, well, it'll be an internet-based process, but anybody and everybody can do it. And quite frankly, I thought about it and thought, yeah, I don't know. I'm always kind of skeptical at first about just about anything. But so I started my YouTube channel in 2007. And it was when YouTube was in its infancy, but I didn't do a whole lot with it. You know, I'd put out some family videos, or, you know, maybe I'd come up with something that would be kind of interesting. And if you look back in my collection, you won't find a whole lot that's, you know, that old. I didn't really get serious about my collection of YouTube videos on trees and tree care until about 6 years ago. And at that point, I came to the realization that I'm not getting any younger, and I've got an awful lot of stuff that I'd like to pass on. And I also remembered about the mentors that I had in my life. You know, if it wasn't for a few key people in the early stages of developing my abilities, I could have gone around in circles. But, you know, there were a few real key old-timers that took me under their wing and said, okay, here's the way it should be done. And just as much, they stopped me when I was making mistakes. And that was probably the most valuable part of the whole early education that I got. But I've come to realize that in this business, there's not a lot of mentors out there. You know, you can go to work for a company and you can become the top dog if you're good at what you do, but who teaches you? If you're really lucky, you'll have somebody that's generally older and wiser and has got more experience. But, you know, you could easily be learning things from somebody that's been doing it the same old way their whole life, and maybe the way they did it was not the best way. So anyway, I'm not, you know, professing that I am the person to listen to. I know a lot. I've been at it for a long time. This is going to be 2018 celebrates 45 years in business for me. And I'm quite proud of that. I know I'm getting older. I'm going to be 64 in December. And, you know, the clock seems like it's ticking for me. So my way of giving back for my community, which is you guys, is to continually upload these videos on trees and tree care. And it's not directly, I'm not directly trying to target just tree climbers and people in the industry, but I am. But really, it's all about anybody who loves trees and wants to learn more about trees. So here's my life. I'm out working every day doing either estimates or bids, or, you know, getting the crew started, or sometimes I'll do a job. Sometimes I work with a job. Every day is different, but in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, what's the next video? What am I going to put together? And in all honesty, it's usually a discovery. I'll show up at a situation and, oh, look at that tree. I've never seen that before. Or I'll bet you that would be an interesting topic. So I'll do the video, and in all honesty, a lot of the videos I do, I look at them afterwards and that's no good. I just erase it. So I've also learned that it's best for me anyway not to put too much effort into high quality video production. I can get into the editing and do the special effects, and sometimes I do. It's fun. I know how to do a lot of that stuff, but the truth of the matter is content. I need to get lots and lots of content out there. And in the beginning, I tried doing my videos that were all 5 minutes or less. That was kind of my mantra. You know, I thought the attention span of most people that watch videos is only 5 minutes. So you got to get your message out there quick. Well, YouTube kind of changed their algorithms to looking for longer videos, and so I'm trying to keep up with the pace of what YouTube promotes, because if I don't get promoted, I don't get watched. You know, I don't get found. So back to my channel. I'm getting close to 20,000 subscribers, and I want to thank you if you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber and watching this for the first time, hey, join the group. I mean, it's I really try hard to give good, consistent information on this topic. You know, I vary from it from time to time. I'm also a woodworker, and I like to do a few woodworking videos, and in a way, that's a very similar mindset. You know, people that like trees usually like the wood that the trees come from, and vice versa. So, you know, I'm kind of meeting all the different sides of it. But I've got a goal here. You know, like I said before, is I'd like to reach 1,000 videos on trees and tree care. And to do that, I try to produce 1 to 2 a week. Sometimes more. Sometimes I'll go on a vacation and I can't think of anything to say. Sometimes I'm just stuck, and I cannot come up with a good idea. And I certainly don't want to bore you guys. And I don't want to lose subscribers either. You know, I want to keep that subscriber count up and keep this growing and build the community. And a lot of people are always asking me to do certain types of videos as well. You know, a lot of people say, you know, can you show me videos on, you know, the tools that you use? Well, I haven't gotten around to it, but, you know, that's in the back of my mind. I had one person say, can you show me how you produce your videos? Well, in all honesty, I try to keep it as simple as possible. I have some really high-end, very expensive cameras. I've got one camera that I paid $6,000 for. I've got another one that I paid $5,000 for. You know how I do my videos? My cell phone. You know, I've got an iPhone, and it has an incredibly high-quality video camera that takes really good pictures, and it's always with me. And that's the key. You know, if I was carrying around a video camera with me all the time, you know, say, okay, what am I going to do today? Well, that doesn't work for me, because it's when I'm out in the job site and I encounter things that I try to capture. That's how I build my collection. Well, I do have some special gadgets that I keep with me that do help in using my iPhone. I've got an external mic that I sometimes use, and I've got this little Steadicam that I can put on this pole that I made that has a spike on it. I can just stick it in the ground and it'll give me a monopod. This particular little device here is kind of interesting. It has some software built into it that somehow, amazingly, I can draw a little square around my face, and if I set it up, it will follow me. It's got a few glitches, and I oftentimes have failures with it, but it's a pretty cool tool. I don't always use it. Sometimes I don't have it with me. Sometimes I've got to go get it. Sometimes I have to think about it. And in all honesty, I just try to catch it when I can catch it. And as you can see, I'm not too steady without it. Now, I come up with a lot of different topics on my own, but I'm going to ask you guys to throw me comments about the sort of stuff that you would like to see. That doesn't mean I'll necessarily get around to it right away, but I am keeping a list of topics, and it does help me out when somebody says, I'd like to see more videos on tree identification. You know, I do talk about tree problems. Speaking of problems, look at this tan oak here. If you look back in my videos, you'll find a video on tan oaks and the Phytophthora ramorum. It's a very serious problem, sudden oak death. It's decimating the forests in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Back to the topic. So anyway, I'm kind of rambling here, and I apologize for that, but you know, there's a few things that I did want to get out there, and I did want to talk about. And I'm going to continue with this channel as long as I'm able. I have no plans for retirement or anything, not in the near future. It's going to take some kind of an illness or something that puts me down, but so far I'm still pretty strong. I'm out walking on my property right now. It's a beautiful Sunday morning and I'm looking at all kinds of beautiful things. Wow, look at that. Check this out. Wow, a lot of you know that I'm really interested in mushrooms and fungi. People say I am a fun guy. Anyway, these are false turkey tails. They're not the true Triomedes because they don't have the white underside. There are a lot of incredibly valuable mushrooms out there with medicinal qualities, and I find all the mushrooms to be very, very interesting. You know, those are the great decomposers of all the wood that dies. And look at this tree right here. Big dead tan oak. And if you look closely, look at the galleries of all the different insects that are taking this piece of wood down. So it's an amazing combination of fungi and insect and water and sun. And in about 15 years or so, this entire tree is just going to be good quality soil. And if you look around, all the soil that you see, everything that's on the ground, everything that's around here that makes up is based upon old organic matter. Hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of years of processing the forests. Look at that dead tan oak. We got some serious problems up here. I've got hundreds of trees like that on my property alone. I've also got beautiful madrones. I've talked about those at great length. So right next to the dead one are some really tall 100-foot plus tan oaks that are still alive. I've probably got about 1,000 or more tan oaks on my property, and I really like the tree. They're an amazing tall tree that came in after a big fire. Back in the 30s, there was a big fire that came through here and wiped out a lot of the older, bigger trees. And most of these trees are less than 100 years old, and because of the fire. And I know that because I've found a few old specimen trees, some old firs, and there's a huge old madrone on the property that has fire scars on it. And I looked it up. So everything we're seeing up here, everything, all the trees, everything is a resurrection of a big, big fire that came through, you know, less than a century ago. And you can see all the new trees that are coming up. Getting back to the Phytophthora ramorum, it is a disease that attacks little trees. You can see all these little trees down here, you know, even the really young ones, as well as the really big ones. So it's non-selective. You know, you'd think that an older tree would be tougher and hardier, but it really isn't. And if you look at some of the trees in the distance here, you'll see this one over here is reasonably full. That one's not as full, and that's probably going to go. These two over here are a little bit better, but it's anybody's guess. One by one by one, I'm removing lots and lots of dead tan oaks. And I can't remove them, I can't get them out of the property. It's impossible. It's just way too steep, and access is too difficult. But if I get them on the ground, then they decompose quicker. And you know, you can see I've probably cut down 100 dead tan oaks over the years, and I've usually got another 50 or 60 dead standing ones right now. So I've been rambling here a little bit. I had a plan, something I really wanted to talk about, and it wasn't the tan oak, so I did get a little bit off track there. What I really wanted to get across to you guys is this is a community of like-minded tree-loving people. Everybody that subscribes to this and everybody that comments, everybody that pays attention to this channel is part of that community. You know, this is a topic that doesn't appeal to everybody. And unlike some YouTubers who get millions of subscribers, I don't expect to get that many subscribers because it takes somebody who is really concerned and cares about our environment or is concerned about learning about their trees to even tune into me. So I get a lot of views on the exciting ones. I get a lot of views on the big removals and the the tree job from hell and the iron giant, and they're fun. They're good, fun videos. And I have to do those exciting ones once in a while to get my stuff out there to attract the types of viewers. And if you're a subscriber, you're the type of viewer that I'm looking for. And I'll keep it going as long as I can and as hard as I can. And you can help me grow that community. You know, if you pass this off to one of your friends, if you have a friend that likes trees and say, hey, check out this channel. If you put it up on your Facebook page and share my videos, that helps. So if you are a like-minded tree lover, as I am, and you want to continue to learn, I'll do the best I can. But help me out. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you know somebody that might like the channel, pass it on. You know, click the like button. That helps in the YouTube way of getting me featured. And I'll keep at it. Well, thanks for watching. I sure appreciate this little long-winded bit of attention. If you made it to the end here, thank you.